Oh dear. Well, apologies guys. I just got back in time to jinx Larry there, and Larry will be cursing me. My whole PC locked up, and nothing would actually work. Not a single thing would work in the PC. I thought Larry had disconnected when I was watching that there, and so I had to basically power down the PC. But when I booted the PC back up, it was a bloody Windows install thing that came up. It was as if it was an update for Windows, and it was wanting me to agree to whatever it is, Microsoft Word 365 or something, and all of that stuff. It was as if it was setting up the PC again, so it was some sort of update, but it shouldn't have locked up my whole PC. But anyway, that's what happened. So apologies for that, chaps, if anybody's still watching or if anybody's come back. But I got back in time to see Larry about to win the match, and he was down to the final 9-ball, and he managed to overcut it into the side pocket. So I jinxed him good and proper again there, I'm afraid. Good evening to Spectre. I don't know whether you heard what I was saying there, but right in the middle of that match, Larry was at the table, and then everything sort of locked up, so I presumed it was Larry that had gone. And then when I tried to move anything, the mouse or anything, to come out of the room, nothing happened. And my PC was totally frozen. The Control-Alt-Delete wasn't working, nothing was functioning at all. So I had to power it down and power it back up. But in the process of doing that, when the PC booted up, it was doing some sort of update from Windows. It was asking if I wanted to, do Microsoft Word and all of that stuff, with the various boxes that were popping up. And so I ignored all of that and just got the PC back up and running. So I don't know why the hell it would do that. I need to see. This is the thing. Since the PC had Windows reinstalled, I don't think I've checked these settings. Yeah, it's an update. Yeah, and I mean, but the thing is it shouldn't lock up the PC. It should at least come up with a pop-up asking you if you want to install updates. And my settings must be wrong. I'm going to have a look at that. But the whole thing froze up, and at first when I saw it when the PC booted back up, I thought, oh, that's a blue screen of death again. But no, it wasn't. It was actually Windows saying, we need to do a few things to complete your PC, complete the install. So it's doing some sort of bloody update. I'm going to go into the updates and disable them so that they're at a set time, or it has to ask my permission, because that's horrible interfering with the bloody stream. I've now got 2 Friday Night 9-ball videos. I'm not going to edit them together. I'm just going to leave them as they are. But anyway, the bad news is that I did get back into the room and saw Larry missing the final 9-ball that he needed to win the match there against John Boo from 6-2 down. He'd got it all the way back, and then he blew it in the last 9-ball, big time. And I jinxed him going into the room. So we've had results come through that I've obviously missed. So let's get an update here. Now hopefully that's all that crap by for the night. So we can see now John Boo's through playing Stefan. John Boo's already 1-0 up. There's no handicap in that match. Coldest Pillow, having beaten DJ Simon, is just started the match with LS3. Keezer is up against Spectre Dawn, who took out DJ Rudu 7 racks to 1 in the first round. And Spectre Dawn's already racing away to a 4-1 lead in that round 2 match. So we've got Bankster and Christian playing as well. And Christian's 1-0 up. He's getting a handicap. But let's go into this match with Coldest Pillow and LS3. Yeah, auto updates. Yeah, that must be what's still on. Because the thing is, since Windows was reinstalled my PC, I haven't looked at all of that stuff. And these are the things that I normally tweak or get rid of, and I haven't done that. I've just been glad the PC's working, and I should have taken time to do that. That was really annoying. Anyway, we are back. We're still in the first rack here in this round 2 match with Coldest Pillow and LS3. And Coldest Pillow's getting a 6 ball, and LS3's had a blast to try and break out the 6. And it's no, it's not the 6 ball, it's the 5 ball. So there's a gift to get Coldest Pillow underway. I'm pretty certain I've always had auto updates switched off in my PCs, and I just haven't done it this time around. I can guarantee you when I get home from work tomorrow, I'll be going in and getting all of that crap switched off, so that it has to ask my permission to do an update. So Coldest Pillow got a gift of a start, and it's very rapidly going to be 2-0 here, because this 5 ball is a very, very dangerous handicap for LS3. Blink of an eye, you're 2-0 down, and a ball has gone in the break. I think it was a 9 ball. There's a bank on in the 1. And that was very nicely played. Now, got to get a hold of the cue ball here. And that's just enough room. Now watch the cue ball again. Still in reasonable shape for 3-0 here. Well, how fast has this match gone downhill for LS3? Extremely fast. Watch the cue ball. And there's the numpty shot of the night. I have to say it. Coldest Pillow will know that. You've got to watch the cue ball. You don't get careless. And that's a huge mistake. Well, took the words out of my mouth there. That was shite. Because only numpties do stuff like that. In VP4. Being careless. You just kill the cue ball. You do anything but let it run to a pocket. Big, big blunder. And has let LS3 right out of jail here. And LS3 says you will be compassionate and understanding. No, there is no forgiveness for numpty shots like that. That's just silly. I don't care who they are, how good or how bad they are, but you just don't play shots like that. You're just falling into your own crap there. If you get careless and lazy, silly things like that happen. Maybe getting excited at being 3-0 up, possibly, and that's the biggest mistake you can ever make. Watch the cue ball. And LS3 is going to be off the mark. And that's a big 2-rack swing there. Could have been 3-0 down, or 100% should have been 3-0 down. And this looks dry. But one thing's for certain, the 2 ball isn't going anywhere fast. But that little nudge has brought the 2 into play. No, I saw that. I saw that. Well, go on to Twitch. Shift over to Twitch, see if it's coming up any quicker for you. Most folks think it does. Well, LS3's had a little bump there with a strong chance of at least still being on the 3, which she is. But this 5 ball has gone really awkward. It's gone to the long rail and it looks fairly tight. And of course the 4 ball only goes into... She can probably go 3 rails here in behind the 4 for the 4 in the same pocket. But, well, just as well it nudged that 9 because that took a bit of the pace off it there. But that 5 ball is frozen to the rail. It couldn't be any worse than where it's sitting. Well, I'm actually seriously thinking on killing Twitch altogether and just streaming to YouTube, because Twitch, you have to, I mean, if I change to any other games and I start streaming, start live streaming, before I do it, I should be going to Twitch to actually change the name of the game that I'm streaming it in, because it doesn't do it automatically. And I can't be bothered wasting time going to Twitch to do that every time. So I'm seriously thinking of just dumping Twitch. There's a new service called Kick, apparently. What does that mean? Oh, well, Coldest Pillow tried a little stun onto the 9 there, but the 9's still hanging. And there's enough of the 5 ball showing. Well, I don't know when you sent me that PM semi-pro or where I was at the time, but it was about 10 o'clock at night or something, so I might have gone to get a coffee. And, but what night was that? Because I would have been back. No, tell a lie. I went to bed and I forgot I'd left the, I'd left the PC on, but I forgot I'd actually still been in the VP4 lobby. I wasn't aware I was still in the VP4 lobby. Oh, Kick is a streaming service, is it? Never heard of it. So, needless to say, I only got that message when I got home from work today, and tried to log into VP4 only to find out I was already logged in. So I'd been there all night. But anyway, unless it's a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night when I'm working, unless it's a Tuesday night at 10 PM or a Wednesday night at 10 PM, don't waste your time sending me a PM, because any other nights at that time of night, first of all, I shouldn't be here because I'll be in bed, because I'm up for work in the morning. So I can only do stuff that late on my days off. So that would be a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, and not late on a Thursday night because I'm back to work on a Friday morning. But we're at 2 racks apiece here, LS3 in a strong position to get ourselves into the lead here. But just think about it, 5 minutes ago, Coldest Pillow had a shot on the 9 ball to drop it in, to the side pocket and do nothing else other than drop it in for a 3-0 lead, and then does what every newbie does at VP4 is pot the 9 ball, lets the cue ball run loose and scratches. And meanwhile LS3 is given another gift to call this fellow. She's hung up the 5, and it's the second gift of the match. Making the mistake at the wrong time. Well, the fact that I've never heard of it might mean that it's already on its last legs, this kick thing, unless it's totally brand new. Well, LS3 thinks she can jump over this 9 ball, or at least jump over the edge of it. It'll be a good jump. It's a bit tight. I think only Bill or Yamaguchi Taru could go over that. Well, there's a 2-rail kick on that 1 ball from either end of the table. I'll tell a lie, it was a break, wasn't it? It was so it was a dry break, and it was just a push-out option. And not the best of push-outs you're ever going to see from LS3 either. That was really poor. I mean, that is so bad to be playing a push-out like that, because the cut's on in the 1. And now a little 2-6 combo here. Now this 2 ball has to stay in play for Coldest Pillow to have a chance, and that ain't it. You can't hit it at that pace and hope to still have a shot in the 2 ball. Spectre Dawn with another 7 racks to 1 win over Kiza. So Spectre Dawn is heading straight through to the final tonight again. LS3 looking at the 2-7. That 7 ball is going to the jaw, so got to get that line and cut the 2 across the 7, but has to get this fairly thick for the 7 to go in. You don't want to cut it too thin. And how's your luck? Not too bad. An angle that you can pinch there to go 2 rails and come around behind the 3, I think, or you could even just stun to the 5 ball or just above the 5 ball. So there's choices to how you get on this 3 ball. I don't know that was it though. I mean, okay, she's still got a pot, but it's a lot tougher than what it could have been. Well, surely this time Coldest Pillow's not going to get a gift. Well, you've got to roll through right onto this bottom rail here. Now, you've got to watch the scratchness. I mean, you can try dropping the 8 ball in dead weight to finish and stay the right side of that 9 ball over this side, or you can go off the rail and back across. You've got to then watch the scratch in the side pocket if you're doing that. And you just try to hold it. You see the cue ball's just leaked away slightly. Just hit that a bit too heavy. A wee bit softer, and it would have been a much more comfortable line on this 9 ball. But in it goes. And we're back on level terms again. Break is dry. Dodgy one ball to start with for Coldest Pillow here. Yeah, they're not easy those. So LS3 has a wee bit of manoeuvring to do. Got to get back far enough for the 3, which I think she's done. Now you can come back off the 3 to the short rail and back over to this long rail here like this. But just don't overcook it. No, that'll be fine. Again, just dropping it in dead weight to have a decent shot in the 5. Bumping the 9 will work as well, as long as the 9 ball gets out of the way and leaves that 6 ball into the corner if that's where you're going to take it. So there's enough room for the 6 ball to go by, and there's enough room for the 7 ball to go up past that 8 as well. You just got to be careful. And she's going up top, and the further you go the easier it is. It must leave an angle on the 8 ball, whatever one it is, and there is the angle. So this is just a little dig. Get that cue ball bumping off the rail and across, and that's perfectly played. So LS3 now into the lead. And once again, well, 7 ball is, well, it thought about going in, but it is another dry one. And no joy for Coldest Pillow, although there is a bank on, but there's also the safety if you can get that cue ball tucked far enough behind the 3, and that will work. So LS3 is contemplating jumping over the edge of the 3, but again it's pretty close. So gentle 2-7 just to keep the 2 there, and well, a little bit of spin and come out over that left side. Well, no, she's not. I don't like this, and I'll tell you the reason I don't like this. Is you're making things more awkward for yourself. I would have got out into the table and played this 3 ball into the same pocket, because this 3 ball could end up on the long rail with no shot here. A bit like that. I mean, you could see that coming a mile away. And LS3 had to come out into the table for that 3 ball. There's no way she should have been playing that 3 onto the 6 into the side. That was a poor choice of shot there, when the obvious one was staring in the face, and now she's got trouble. Now if the 9 ball gets out of the way, Coldest Pillow should be punishing LS3 here. it's always the case that if you end up playing that 3 ball onto that 6 at that angle, and to make the pot on the 6, then the 3 ball has to be running down the long rail, and the 9 ball was a blocker for the pocket. So how she thought about doing it that way is beyond me. I can't work it out. And meanwhile, Coldest Pillow's got the match back all square. Two ball into the side. Well, that cue ball needed to run further up the table. But in goes the 4 and the nudge on the 7. Oh, that's just killed it. The nudge in the 7 took the pace off the cue ball, but the nudge in the 7's pushed the 7 over the 5. Now a cross bank possible here in the 5. And that is going to stay straight. Well, wee bit of pressure on LS3 here. Big cut from a distance. But got to be able to have some sort of shot in the 6 ball here. And she sent it into the rail. And it's amazing what the pressure does, because it's another gift, and Coldest Pillows had 3 gifts where mistakes were made by LS3 on that 5 ball, and you simply can't do it. Not when it's your opponent's money ball. Well, it's dry from Coldest Pillow. There is a thin cut in the 1. The cue ball might miss the 9 and 7. It wouldn't do any harm in bumping them, because that will get them into play. Oh, again, she's hit that far too hard. All you need to do is just nudge into them. And I don't think she can see enough of the 2 ball to pot it. Nope. Well, it's a long range jump. No, the cue ball is in the table with a shot in the 3, but this is tough to try and get that cue ball out of there, and somewhere it needs to go at least a couple of rails to have anywhere in the table where you can see this 4 ball. Well, she's choosing just to take her medicine, but leaving these tough shots. And this is another one where, you know, she's on the 4 ball. The 5 ball is Coldest Pillow's money ball. This could go pear-shaped very quickly here. Under pressure again. And she's just barely got there. This is thin. Got to get this wafer thin and amp it up to get the speed in this 5 ball. Get it to the hole. And that's what happens. Again, the mistake at the wrong time. But it's going to have to be a 5-9 combo this time. Well, that's 4 mistakes on the money ball, or the opponent's money ball, and every one of them has been deadly. Coldest Pillow now on the hill, and it's very quickly falling apart here for LS3 this match. Now at the point of no return, and John Boo has taken out Stefan, 7 racks to 5. John Boo, of course, getting that gift at the end there from Larry in his first round match. Well, that'll work as a safety. Coldest pillow. That needs to jack up a lot higher than that. That cute. That, oh no, trying a bit of spin. Thought he was trying to jump it there. But the hit is good, and it's reasonably safe. Another very poor safety from LS3. Didn't get the 2-ball past the side pocket. The cut was left on for Coldest Pillow. Well, that could have done with not hitting the 4-ball. It's a cut into the side though, and if you can come out clean, oh dear. Well, if you're going to miss it and leaving it somewhere like that, to be LS3 under loads of pressure, because I mean the pot is on, but it's really tough. Now, where's she going with this? Trying to get in behind the 7th there. Another result through. Bankster's taken out Christian by 7 racks to 4. And Coldest Pillow going all out for the bank. Is it going to come across? Yes, it has. And this for the match. Well, in goes that 5-ball, and Coldest Pillow runs away with it 7 racks to 4, but 4 of those racks were all gifted by LS3, has to be said. And LS3 heads over to join Larry on the 1-loss side. Well, you didn't get lucky. LS3 got crazy by making mistakes all at the wrong time. So, Coldest Pillow through to play John Boo, and Spectre Dawn just going to get underway against Bankster. If we look at the 1-loss side, we've got Travelling TT playing Stefan at the moment. We've got Mooncake playing Keezer, and we've got Larry up against Christian. Christian getting a stack of money balls. Very dangerous there. But we're going to head in to the match with Spectre Dawn and Bankster. That isn't right. Who's Spectre Dusk then? If it's not Spectre Dawn, because Spectre Dawn's in the tournament. Oh, that's great. Oh, I already talked about it in the stream. Yes, it was a numpty shot of the night. Because you don't get careless when you think you're just about to go 3-0 up, and then you do something daft like that. Oh yeah, you've moved to Twitch. Well, see how well it is. It's usually a couple of seconds quicker than YouTube. So, Spectre Dawn in the room. He's on the right-hand side of the table. Bankster on the left, or on the far side now that I've moved the camera around. And it looks as if Bankster's won the lag. And Bankster is getting the 7-ball. And he's also come up dry, and at the moment he's got a wee bit of a lifeline in this right. All the other balls are wide open, but that 4 ball and 7 ball are married up. But that 4 ball and 7 ball are absolutely stone dead into that top corner pocket. There's no way that 7 ball's missing. It's heading right into the pocket. So all you need to do is just get the cue ball down this end of the table. And if you can get it directly behind these two, which is not a guarantee, then you've got a dead set combo up the rail. You don't need to go for the breakout if the combo's there. So we'll see how Spectre Dawn works this out. And he's got the perfect angle off this 3 ball. Now he needs to, if this was me, I'd be cutting this with a wee bit of left English to bring this cue ball back across, because the danger's trying to come around the corner. You've got to miss the 9, and he's got the English on it. Needs to keep going. And well, he'll have looked at it. You can't miss this as long as you get the cut pretty much full on to that 7 ball with a 4. You look at it, it was dead all day long. The only problem is getting good in the 4. And well, now Spectre's got to go for the bank. 5 ball is guarded by the 6 into this bottom right, so he's moving the cue ball across. Now if he'd missed that 6 ball, he would have been pretty much perfect in the 5 into the other corner pocket, but as it is now, it's one of them ones. This is not pretty, because you can't just roll this in dead weight. You've got to play to go on the 6. Oh, he's played that well. That was a good shot. Once again, you can go 2-3 rails here, or you can just come out and leave a dodgy cut in the 8 ball. 1, 2, 3. Well, it needed more legs. It needed another 2-footer running on that cue ball there. Bankster ready to pounce here. Bankster's money ball has gone, so if he gets to the table, he's got to run the 2 of these, but he ain't getting to the table. Well, Spectre Dawn off and running again. He's had 2 7-1 victories, I think, in the tournament so far. Bankster doesn't want to be the 3rd victim, but in order to avoid that, he has to get to the table. And a ball has gone in. I think the 2 balls just dropped here. He's in no man's land on the 1 ball. I mean, it does pot into either the side or the top pocket, but none of them you would want to really be taking on if you could help it. Again, right in the heart of the pocket, held the cue ball well. Pretty straightish on the 3, but not a problem. And now just got to get high enough up the table again. All the room in the world to go on this 5 ball. Now again, could have done with just been a wee bit shallower angle, but it's all about pace now. Just getting this 5 ball to the hole and getting the cue ball across and nicely on the 6, which he's done. And it's very much looking like it's going to be 2-0 right off the bat here for Spectre Dawn. This is the only one that can go wrong. But again, you can err on the safety side and just leave this somewhere higher up in the 8, a bit like that, and not try and get too great on it. And that's perfectly well played. Nice angle to get up for the 9. Oh well, commentator's curse. The mistake's been made, but as I said earlier, Bankster's got to get out of this pocket here off this 8 ball to get on the 9. He might want to try. I would be looking at the pocket first of all before I shoot this, because you don't want to try and use the rail here, because you can easily go right around those angles and miss the ball entirely. Well, that's probably about as best as can be expected. He's played that pretty well. Got to punish the mistakes. And in goes the 9. Inspector Don has made the error, and the error has been punished. Bankster gets the 8 ball in the break, and it could be a very quick 1-9 combo here. It isn't dead set, but you can certainly brush that 1 onto the edge of the 9. You've got to get it hard and thin, and the 9 should go in like that. Couldn't have played it any better myself. And suddenly it's 2-1 to Bankster. As quick as that. 7 ball in the right side pocket. Oh, sitting not too bad in the 1. Got to get the cue ball out of there though. And this is heading for traffic, this cue ball. Yeah. Caught a bit of the 4 ball. Well, it's not too bad. It is not too bad. I think he can make the cut in this and miss the 5 and come up the right side there. Oh, just brushed the 5, but no harm done. No harm done at all. Nice angle on the 3 to bump it in. Well, he's erring the safer side. He's left it a wee bit more awkward, but he should never be missing this anyway. And it should be, dare I say it, am I going to curse him? It should be 3-1 to Bankster here. There's absolutely no excuse. Now got to make sure that you stay in the top side of this 7, because you don't want to be trying to get too good on it in past the 9. Just play it into the side pocket or up table, whatever. He's got a lot of inside English on it there to get the line, and that's well played. So just a 7 ball for a 3-1 lead. Well, is he going to live up to his reputation here, Bankster, being the most dangerous Friday night 9-ball opponent with a handicap? He has a 3-1 lead. He's come up dry. Again, there is the cut on. The cue ball's going to bump into 5. The 2 ball has gone dead though, because that's where you're always relying on a bit of luck. Inspector Don hasn't got it. Now, if I'm Inspector Don, I'm running for cover here. I'm heading up into the long grass. Well, that's done 2 things. It's got the 2 ball almost covered, so Bankster can't pot it, I don't think. And it's also broke out the 7 and 9. So if Bankster can't get this safe, and he's got the double kiss there, he was trying to back that 2 ball back up into the top right hand corner pocket. And it looks like Inspector Don's going to have to jump this and try and cut that into the edge, into the side pocket. I don't think he can get it. Plain ball like this. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's just trying to jump to catch the edge. Oh, now. Well, bank is on. Or the banks are open, shall we say. And goes the 3. 4 ball down table. 5 ball into the same pocket now. got to be good on the 5. Because this 6 ball is not easily accessible just because of that 4 ball being in the way. And Larry survived his match with Christian by 4 racks to 1. Meanwhile, Spectrodon's got himself in a decent position on the 6. Once again, got to decide where now the obvious way for the cue ball to go is to come around the angles and at least have some sort of shot into the side or a bank, and that's neither here nor there. And DJ Redo has won, and LS3 has gone home. I think it was 4 racks to 2, and also Travelling TT's gone through against Stefan. Final rack decider, so the matches are rattling through in the one loss side. And meanwhile, Spectrodon again got to play a good one on this 8 ball. It's a dodgy angle. But it just went in the left side of the pocket. Yeah, I was live earlier, but bloody Windows decided to go funny on me with some sort of bloody update that locked the whole PC up, which I'm really annoyed at. But I'm to blame because once when I had Windows reinstalled when it came back from repair, I never went in and set the Windows updates to my liking. I never touched any of them, so I will be doing it tomorrow. And I mean, it should never interfere like that when it's doing whatever update it was doing. Really annoying. Well, probably 2 rails here, maybe with a wee bit of spin on this this 4 ball, or is it the 2 ball? Can't see. Yeah, is it? Yeah, just got to get the cue ball back across the table, and that's perfect, even though it's at distance. Oh, it was the 4 ball. Oh, what, are you in Windows 10? So your PC can be upgraded to Windows 11. Mine won't. At least that's what they keep telling me. I'm not bothered either way. Because whenever I get, I mean, every last version of Windows I've had, I've always set it back to look like Windows 7. I hate the Windows 10 look. I don't like those boxes and all of that stuff. So my Windows, I've got Classic Shell installed, and if you don't like all the Windows layout, if you install Classic Shell, that'll have it back to looking like Windows 7. Because then I know where I am. I know where I'm going. I can't be bothered learning to navigate that Windows 10 stuff. I get rid of it straight away. So, back to the match. Spectrodon's got it back all square. He's come up dry. He's left nothing on for Bankster. Although once again, Bankster can play a decent safety here. I don't know what he's looking at. Well, very ambitious 1-7 combo attempted there. And he's got cover, but there's enough room to jump this. I don't know whether there's enough room to jump this 5 and pot the 1, because that is very tight past the 7. And that is well played. If he played it, he's kicked to 1 and it's went in off the 7. No, I'm in Windows 10. But when this Windows 11 thing came out, you know, I did that test. I downloaded that tool that Microsoft have, and it tells me my PC isn't compatible with Windows 11 was a load of bullshit. But I'm not desperate for Windows 11. The operating system means very little to me. I'm not even interested in getting around it either. Not interested in the slightest. Well, I heard on the news there before I came to start the stream for the first time tonight that Tony Bennett has passed away. What was he, 93? 93 years old. Sort of, you would put him down as one of the last sort of crooners from the 60s. The last of those types of that breed, like Sinatra, Matt Monro if you're British, all of those type of singers, they've all gone, and he was the last one really to go. Well, the thing is that they released these versions of Windows. It's no different than a game. When they release them to the public, and then they release a whole ton of updates to fix all the issues or all the security issues that are found. Because as soon as it comes out, the hackers are all into it to find out what they can get out of it. Oh, Frank Sinatra. Oh, he's got loads of songs. That's Life. I like that one. I mean, there's loads. Luck Be a Lady Tonight. I mean, that wasn't his song. That's a song out of a musical. Oh, there's loads and loads. Oh, Bankster trailing by one at the table, and on the 4-ball, albeit is he on the right side of it? Let's have a look. Yeah, just on the right side of it. And Coldest Pillow marches on again against John Boo. 7 racks to 3, another good win. Yeah, Flying Me to the Moon. Yep. That's what I was singing. I was singing that during COVID. What was it? That's life. What was the lyrics I made up? That's life. That's what everybody says. Catch COVID in April, drop dead in May. I was singing that at work with my mask on. Well, Bankster's break comes up dry, and Spectre Dawn is in, and this table is all but over. That 6-ball looks fairly tight in the bottom rail here. Let's have a quick shufty at that. No, it's off the rail. No problem. Well, this is going to be a fairly quick tournament tonight again. How long have we been at it? 90 minutes. Loads of results coming through. This might be like one of the last outstanding matches to get played here, because there's a whole pile of one-loss side matches going through. Well, this is just a drop-dead pot on the 5. Just roll it in and no more. And the cue ball now has to go up table, anywhere up the table, obviously in the right hand side, and you've got the 7 ball into that left side pocket. I can't believe he'd be trying to do anything to take it up table. Well, he is. He's trying to get a good line on it, and he's perfect on it. You could easily just run into the open space there for that 7 on the side, but he's got absolutely perfect on it. So Spectre Dawn goes back into the lead, and if he can get his brake working, he could be home and dry. Well, I don't know. I was watching the cricket today when I got home, and I have to say that it's odds on it's going to end up a draw. Pretty much odds on, if I was a bookie, that it'll end up a draw, because even though England did exceptionally well today, I mean, they had to batter the runs in as quick as they could to try and get as big a lead as quick as they could, so that they could get the Australians in and try and whittle some wickets out. But the problem they've got is that the forecast tomorrow is absolute crap. It'll probably be a washout. They probably won't get any play in tomorrow, so they'll lose pretty much all day tomorrow, I would expect, unless there's a sudden change in the weather. But the forecast is rain, and Sunday's not a lot better either, and so they're going to run out of time to play the match, and England will still be 2-1 down with one test to play at the Oval to try and at least get a draw, which would still mean that the Ashes will stay in Australia. Not that any of you guys are interested, but I'm interested. I love watching the test match. No, it's been played in England. The final test is at the Oval in London, and it probably will be England still have to win it. I mean, Australia can still not necessarily just retain the Ashes, they can win it, which they would want to do, because I think that the odds in this match at the moment coming up with a result is not favourable. Oh, it'd be a great afternoon to be in amongst the Barmy Army. Yep, and I'm talking as a Scotsman. Well, that's a good safety from Spectre Dawn. Very good safety. That's got Bankster in trouble. He's just caught, and that's a brilliant shot. What a shot that was. Okay, he's no great shot in the 6, but what a cut in that 5 ball. Could only catch the edge of it. Caught it absolutely perfect. And now he's got the bank on the 6. That looked a pretty damn good safety from Spectre Dawn, but he just left an edge of that 5, and the bank has been played by Bankster, and just this 7 ball, which he's not that perfect on, but he's got the pot to square the match. And he's not found a line, and that's his chance come and gone. Well, he had a chance to really put the pressure on Spectre Dawn there after having done all that hard work with that 5 ball. And this is the painful bit. I mean, he was, you know, he had the shot in the 7, but whenever you're at those little angles, they're always not guaranteed that you're reading them, and he was well off the line. And Spectre Dawn will breathe a sigh of relief. So he's now breaking for the match with a 6-4 lead. And Larry has gone home in a final rack decider. Mooncake has taken him out. And, no, sorry, not a final rack decider. It was 4-2. So Spectre Dawn now the odds-on favourite for another win in Friday Night 9 ball. Who's going to stop him? Well, it's looking like if Bankster's going to do it, he's going to have to come back through that one-loss side. Mooncake might pull something out of the fire. You never know. Or Cold as Pillow might deal with him. That's exactly it. But this is where the pressure's on when you're getting... And Cold as Pillow will be getting a generous enough handicap. But is he going to get enough chances? And more importantly, whatever chances he does get, is he going to be able to take them? Because this is what you have to do at this level against players like Spectre Dawn. You can't be sitting thinking you're going to get umpteen chances, because it ain't going to happen. Now this is going to have to go 2 rails, this cue ball here. Left side rail, right side rail, back across to the 5. Perfect angle, although again at distance. Well, it's all over for Bankster, I'm afraid. Been a whole different story if he'd got that 7 ball last rack. But Spectre Dawn, I'm pretty certain is through to the hot seat. I haven't looked at the bracket for a while, but we'll have a look at it now. What the hell's happened there? What the hell's happened there? Am I out of sync here big time? Yeah, something's gone weird there. It's Bankster that's gone. Yeah, that's why it went funny there at the end. That was weird. I thought my PC had gone tits up again. But Bankster, I think it disconnected just as the match finished there, as Spectre Dawn potted that that final 9 ball, and you know, Bankster's in the lobby, but I think he just lost connection at the wrong time there. Right, so we've seen all those results come through. Let's see where we stand here. Well, we've got Spectre Dawn up against Coldest Pillow, and Coldest Pillow I think is getting a 5-ball again. Well, I mean, the problem for Coldest Pillow is just like I said, he's got to get chances to get to that 5-ball, and he might not be getting that many. Now let's have a look. One loss side, we've got Mooncake up against John Boo. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll go into that match, and because Mooncake's just won the first rack, and John Boo's getting a 7-ball, and then we'll move into that hot seat match once this one's finished. No, I don't think he quit in the 9 because it said he disconnected. It could have been just a Bankster doesn't normally do stuff like that. That's why you can tell something weird like that happened, because it looked as if it was out of sync when I think Spectre Dawn just potted the cue ball at the end there. Where's this cue ball going? Well, that'll do. Now, this will be a good shot from Mooncake to get on that 3-ball, because there's a narrow window to get on that 3-ball. There is a slight angle in the 2, but you've got to, I think you've got to jack up a little bit here. You can't be running into the 4. You've got to, well, I wish sometimes the players would listen to the commentator, because you could not run into that 4. You had to jack up and stun that in and try and get the cue ball up into the middle of the table. Bankster left, he got disconnected. It was one of those, because you see some players having quick disconnects and then reconnecting. But the match was over anyway. I'm just going to shut my curtains here because it's getting a bit dark, and I'll put the light on so I can see what I'm doing. I'll also have a quick drink. So 1 apiece. That's dry. Oh, the 2 balls just nudged the 1 nicely into play there for Mooncake. And that 3-ball can be got at. Loads of room to get to the 3-ball. See, the problem again here is not getting to the 3-ball. The problem's getting to the 3-ball like this sort of angle, where you're not interfering with the 7, and that's exactly where you want to be. But he hasn't got into the cue ball. He's left it short. And this is again a thin, well, he didn't pick the line at all there. Nowhere near the pot. And DJ Redo has taken down Travelling TT 4 racks to 2. And meanwhile, John Boo, who needs to get to that 7-ball. Oh dear. See, I keep saying about John Boo blowing hot and cold. I mean, that's really, really poor. You know, and then he's going to scratch off the 8, you know, doomed to failure there. Overhit that by a country mile, and immediately when you start having to play thin cuts, the cue ball starts running, things like that are going to happen, and there's a 2-rack swing again there. And of course it's only a race to 4, so blink and you'll miss it. John Boo gets full punishment administered to him there from Mooncake. Careless play. Mooncake's got a ball or balls in the break. I think the one ball is one of them, one and the two have gone. No shot in the three though, so just to push out. Well, again, that's not a great push out. In fact, I'll go as far to say it's pretty poor because it's left a thin cut or the bank on the three. And the four ball over the corner pocket. Now DJ Redo, so not DJ Redo, John Boo has to get up into the middle of the table or stay low. And he's done neither. He's in no man's land. But a good recovery on the 5. He needs another good one in the 6. And again, it's just threatening to go funny here. And he's not great in the 7 either. You know, if you have 2 or 3 of these type of shots in a row, sooner or later you're going to miss one. You know, a bit like that. It's asking a lot to keep digging out pots each time because you're never getting good on the next ball. You're joking. He's still stuck in that room. Hang on. Right. No, he's not. Coldest. He's in the match with Coldest Pillow. That was a hot seat match that's just started. No, he's in playing Coldest Pillow at the moment. So everything's okay. Yeah, it must have been, yeah. Aye, everything's fine. Well, we'll jump back into that room. Probably miss the end of this match now, I think. Oh, there we go. Right, so where are we? Well, John Boo breaking off in rack number 5. 2 apiece. He's had the 4 ball in the break, got a shot in the 1 into the side, 2 over the corner pocket. Oh, that 1 ball just caught the point. Now, you pot the 2, you can easily cheat the 3 ball past the 5. There's plenty of room to do that. Oh, I didn't realise he'd ended up hooked though. Well, that'll still work. And you've got to hold the cue ball here though, so he's having to just dig in to hold the cue ball. And now it's about getting some sort of shot in the 6 with 8. That ain't going to be easy. I mean, you can try and dink over to the short side of that 6 and come in behind it. And he's trying to drop top side to play it down table, and that'll do it. That will work. And I think he can roll through without scratching the side. Yeah. Now how's he finished on the 7? And that's not where you want to be. He's absolutely bolt straight on this 7. Just trying to pinch a wee bit here. A wee bit of an angle he's trying to pinch. Well, in fact he's decided he ain't, and I don't think I'd want to sit there. I think I'd have been pinching a bit more of an angle, because this cue ball could easily scratch, and he's made sure of that. because he could have easily thin cut that in and went that way and scratched into the corner pocket, but he would see that coming. Oh, well, it used all of the pocket. The Mooncake is on the hill with the break. Oh, look at the 9-ball. When the 9-ball's get in, it'll get spotted, but another ball went in as well. And this table, well, Mooncake should be out. And this is the important shot in the rack here, getting on the 3. Well, again, do you try and get really good in the 4, or do you just pot the 3 and leave the 4 long into this bottom right hand corner pocket? Because that would be the safest shot to play. Well, he's actually stunned that a bit better than he really wanted to there. He still should be good enough. Let's have a look at this angle. See, he's got more angle. He wanted to be sort of there. He's just got more angle than he would like. But he's really played that well. Got right into the cue ball. And fairly straight in the 5. Again, things are going to be at distance here on this 7 ball. But that is perfect. That was extremely well played. Nice big stun to give him the angle, and now he doesn't need to do anything other than pot the 7. And again, the angle's there. You just pot the 8 and let the cue ball run out past that left side pocket. That's all you do here. Left it a tad short again. You know, the further up you go to the side pocket, the more you open up the angle, and it's pretty much then straight in. But in it goes, and so Mooncake survives by that 4-2 win over John Boo. So let's now, well, that's about to update. So John Boo is now going to be playing, Mooncake's now going to be playing either Baxter or DJ Redo, and Baxter's already 2-0 up in that. Let's head in to the hot seat match, and we're 1 apiece in this match. And as I said earlier, Coldest Pillow's getting a 5 ball, provided he can get a shot at it. Well, that 8 and 9 ball are crying out to be ducked behind at some point. But Spectre Dawn's come up with a half decent safety here. Full snooker behind that 6 ball. And, well, the line isn't there off that side rail to get to the 1. Well, it's attempted long jump, and that's also bumped the 8 ball out into play. So now you would think that Coldest Pillow has played his last shot in this rack. Well, the 2 and the 4 and the 5 and the 6, I can't see where there's any problem here. Well, the only slight problem is that the chances are that Spectre Dawn's going to leave himself fairly high on this 7 ball. and then it's really a question of the cue ball going up the table and back down to get on this 8 ball when he cuts the 7. This is what he's going to end up doing. He doesn't want to come down towards us to try and get a shallower angle on the 7. Well, he's actually almost scratched there, but this is up and down the table. And anywhere left or right side of the 8 ball will do. You don't want to finish on top of it. Oh, he's going to scratch. That's heading to the hole. Well, there you go. And there's your free gift called a spillo. You've got to just roll in the 8 and 9 though. I mean, that was the shot to go up and down the table, but you couldn't go up and down at such an angle. You had to make sure you were going left or right of the what was it, the 7 ball, and he went too far left and gifted Coldest Pillow the lead. So the mistake was made by Spectre Dawn, and that's what you've got to do. If you do get that chance from the mistake, you must do everything to take it out. And I think Coldest Pillow came up dry. Spectre Dawn has got a nice little nudge off the 2. Pretty certain it squeezes past the 7. Now, problem is he's got to avoid collisions here to get up the top side of that 3 ball. And even then, when he does that, he can't go too far. He might end up half hooking himself behind the 4. So this is tricky. And there's a mistake made. You see, he was really focused on getting half decent on that 3 ball. I mean, he didn't really get good on it, but he's come up with second prize though. Coldest Pillow can't see the 2, and this is heading around the jaws, this cue ball, if it catches the rail. Well, and now he's also freed up the 3 ball. So that's your chance come and gone, albeit it wasn't great. Well, Bankster has torn a strip off DJ Rudo, 4 racks to 0. Bankster still there. Spectre Dawn looking to quickly square this match up here. Little stun into the gap off the 6. Presume he's got the angle to do it, yeah. So rack number 5, 2-all in the hot seat match, and it's dry, and Coldest Pillow has a shot in the 1, got to get the cue ball up the table, and again just rushing things, because there was absolutely no control over that shot whatsoever. I mean, the cue ball was just running into balls and hoping that you still see the 2. You've got to play the shot that gets the cue ball out of there. Okay, Spectre Dawn's not get anything easy. But then again, you need those lucky rolls to maybe give you a second go. So Coldest Pillow's getting his second chance here. Now, let's have a look at how much the angles are. See, I'd be, just drawing off this, not heading towards anything here. Now, this isn't going to be any good to get on the 3. But what you can do is put Spectre Dawn in trouble. Now, if you've got, now he's got himself in trouble by trying to do acrobatics. It would have been easy enough just to get to sort of a line like that and roll the 3 to the end rail and stick the cue ball in the 7. Now he's going to have to dig himself out of trouble. Yeah, Coldest Pillow needs a lot more practice in the jump shots, because straight away you can tell that that cue was not high enough. It needed to be a much steeper angle to get that cue ball up into there quick. But again, probably something he's not really played a lot of. And that's the chance come and gone in this rack. Yeah, I was blowing my nose. It's well, here's the exact point we've been trying to make here. Here's a mistake made by Spectre Dawn, and here's a table that you just have to, well, first of all, the problem's the two balls in the pocket. And now I've got the hiccups after having a drink of water. So all you have to do is just hit this gentle enough to come out, but you've got to make sure that you're not hitting the 5 ball here. And he's certainly not doing that. He's actually gone a wee bit too far, but the cut's still on. Oh dear, the cue ball's not going the right direction. No, you had to put a bit of spin on that. See, if you put a bit of right hand spin on the cue ball, the cue ball hits the rail when you make the cut, and then it takes that angle, and you avoid going anywhere near the pocket. And so there's the chance come and gone. That's how difficult it is in these matches. Because you know you're not going to get another chance. That was one mistake by Spectre Dawn there. And it gives you that wee chink of light, but the pressure's on for you to deliver and to start learning how to manoeuvre that cue ball better. You know, when I looked at that cut, if I'm playing that cut into the side, it was a tight enough cut, but I'd still put a bit of right spin in the cue ball to make sure that I'm diverting that cue ball off the rail. As soon as it hits that first rail, I'm making sure it goes to the short rail, well away from the corner pocket. So Spectre Dawn is beginning to pull away. It's a 3-rat lead now, and it's a tall order for Coldest Pillow. So again, there's a cut in the 1. The 2 ball is going nowhere fast. Well, he has a chance at a combo here. And that's well done. Not particularly great in the 2 ball though. It's better than nothing at all though. But this cue ball's heading into trouble here. Especially when you look at where the 3 ball is. Well, the fluke on the 5 ball comes in handy. And I don't believe he played that. But you'll take what you can get at this stage. So again, another ball in the break. 7 balls gone this time. Thin cut in the 1. Bound to be on the 2 in some way. Not quite. Well, I think Coldest Pillow will be getting rid of the jump cube until he becomes a wee bit more proficient on it. Well, this 3 ball more than likely will end up in the side pocket where the 4 ball is. And that will do. Well, I don't know if Coldest Pillow plays 9-ball regular enough and often enough to get enough practice with the jump cue. That's the thing. You know, players like Cobra, who when there's, you know, when he's in here doing anything, it's usually 9-ball he's playing, so he gets plenty of practice with the jump cue, as does Spectre Dawn. Same with Larry. I mean, they're all very solid players with the jump stick. Bill as well, of course. Bill plays generally nothing but 9-ball. And Spectre Dawn is all but in their final. Well, you can have tournaments like that. It's it's easy enough for a 9-ball tournament. There's tournaments like that on, I believe. They're just they're not on at the right time. So Mooncake has gone through against Bankster, 4 racks to 1, and Mooncake's now sitting in the semi-final, waiting to play the loser of this match, which is most certainly probably going to be Coldest Pillow. Although Spectre Dawn is going to have to manufacture this little combo here, and this is tricky. I think what there should be is I think, see, I'm all for having regular tournaments on regular nights. So you know, Friday night 9-ball's always at 7 o'clock, and when the clocks change, it's always at 7 o'clock. So it has to be changed when that happens, because I believe that people like regularity in their tournaments, so they know that it's on at that time each week. So if you were to have, first of all, if you were to have a regular tournament that was for lower rated players, then you have to have the support by the players in order to justify it. First of all, there's no point in them setting a tournament on a set time of day. Like, for example, on, say, another night during the week where you had a night, you know, I don't know, a Wednesday night 9-ball or a Thursday night 9-ball. If you had it at 7 PM, the same time that this one starts, there's no point in having one of them set up if only 3 players enter it. No point whatsoever. You'd have to get a decent turnout for them to justify having it on a regular basis. So it's down to the players to give the support for it, and it's also a case of supply and demand. You know, 1 or 2 players saying, I would play in that, well, that's fine, but you need a lot more than that to justify it being on in a regular setting each time. Well, I'm doubting that there's enough numpties with the inclination to play in it on a regular basis. That's what I'm saying. If that's what you're asking, I think you could get, you know, you could get 2 in it, but 2's not really a tournament. I'm talking about having at least, you know, 10 players in it on a regular basis. I mean, this tournament's been on for, oh God, how long has this been on for? It's been on for as long as Virtual Pool 3. So it's certainly 20 years. It used to, when I first started Virtual Pool 3, this tournament used to start at 9 o'clock at night. So it started like sort of late afternoon East Coast time. And it used to be busy at that time of night as well. And since less and less players from the USA are in and around VP4, the tournament time has came forward to suit the more European players. You know, it's jumped to 2 hours earlier than what it used to be right at the start. So Spectre Dawn does the inevitable. It's a 7-4 win. Coldest Pillow has to come through Mooncake on that one lost side, because that is the next match that we're going to have, and we'll get confirmation that Spectre Dawn's through to his umpteen hundredth VP4 Friday night 9-ball tournament final, and he will have a break now until Mooncake and Coldest Pillow have resolved matters on this semi-final match. So we'll get in. We've got Coldest Pillow ready in. Well, the main mistake you're making, Coldest Pillow, in the jump shot is you're not getting the cue high enough. You need you only go at shallower angles if you're trying to jump over a longer ball. You must have a higher angle when the ball's in a decent range to get that cue ball up quick. If you don't do that, you're just going to head straight into the object ball that you're trying to avoid. Well, I wonder if Mooncake is still here, because Mooncake has, I've noticed in the past, he does have the tendency to sort of disappear. Whether he runs out of time, let's just go to the lobby, hang on. Well, Mooncake is in away mode, so he is still here, and he will be getting the alarm telling him that the room is up. The thing we when you're messing about with the jump cue, the one thing that does tend to happen sometimes is that when you're tweaking the cue up and down to try and find that line to jump over the object ball, you can accidentally put some side in the cue ball, and then you tend to miss the jump by miles. You've got to make sure that cue tip's centered. Well, Mooncake is in no rush to get in here. He's got 5 minutes to get in, and the clock's been ticking. Well, once, I mean, this 8-ball bar table world championship, there's still matches to be played in it, but well, Mooncake's finally arrived, but there probably won't be another world championship arranged or set up. Well, there certainly won't be until Steve gets back from his vacation in the mountains. So he's not away yet, but he'll be away for 2 weeks at least. He will be out of the he'll be out of VP4, so he won't be around to set a championship. Oh, Steve's still in charge. He'll still be in touch with the lobby. I think DJ Simon will be the one that'll have. He'll be the one that I'll have to contact if something goes wrong with the lobby. I'll have to message him unless somebody else does. Well, good start for Coldest Pillow. Coldest Pillow, of course, getting the 6 ball in this match. Look at just the short race to 4, so that's a good start. And also, look at that setup there with the combo. I think Mooncake's going to have to play this straight away here. Yeah, he's played the 1 onto that 4 and 6, because that gets rid of Coldest Pillow's money ball. But the 1 ball has gone pretty safe. I mean, I think he can see enough of it to try and cut it down the rail. Well, here's here's Coldest Pillow's chance for a jump shot, but he's not interested. That didn't look like the line. That was always going to go wide of the 1 ball. Well, I don't know. I don't know. He's obviously, his working hours have changed or whatever. I haven't a clue. He's certainly not been around for months. Well, there's a mistake from Mooncake, but I think he's pretty much got away with it, because that won't cut. But you can cut it back to this short rail and head up table. Just cut it back towards the 4 ball and get the cue ball somewhere up in that top rail. I mean, the shot's like that, yeah, and then just get the cue ball up table. That'll do. That's a good safety. Well, Mooncake trying a jump shot, no success. So ball in hand for Coldest Pillow, who only needs to pot the 3, the 4. No, tell a lie, needs to pot all of them, because the 6 ball's gone. Oh, the yawn has started. It's bed by times, or beddy buys I should say. We're in shutdown mode. Oh, the cue ball needs to just get up high enough, and that will do nicely. Well, we've had fairly quick Friday night 9 balls, even the ones where we had a full field in the last couple of weeks. They've got a fair pace. I mean, you always know it's going pretty well when the one lost side's rattling through, which it was doing earlier. Obviously now there's no more matches to be played other than this one. And Coldest Pillow with the attempt at the 1-7 combo. And now, not Coldest Pillow, Mooncake. Coldest Pillow now has a possible bank across to this 4, but if you go this side you're going to keep both balls out the pocket if it comes in this line. But that's played right onto the 4 for the combo. The cue ball still in play. Little thin cut and the one into the side, 2 balls over the other corner. So 5 and 6. And Coldest Pillow is 3-0 up on the hill. Where's the cue ball going? Well, the 5 ball has gone in the break. And that's a good safety from Coldest Pillow. That's got Mooncake in trouble. Now, it's not a difficult hit as long as you can go past the one, hit the bottom rail and kick the one back up the table. He looks as if he's trying to jump again now. He's had 2 goes at jump shots, failed in both of them. He might have been better trying just to try and kick that one. And now, Coldest Pillow has ball in hand. Now, again, doesn't need to worry about the 8 ball or the 9 ball. 6 ball sitting there wide open. This is a bit high an angle to try and hold for the 4. And when you try and do things that way, disaster usually isn't far behind. And Mooncake was like 3 shots away from the final there. And Mooncake, sorry, not Mooncake, I'm mixing my players up, the brain's gone. Coldest Pillow is 3 shots away from the final and might be finding out the really hard way of what the punishment's like when you start making mistakes. Now, it's more than likely going to have to be a combo here on this 8 and 9, in fact, pretty certain it is. Oh, that needs to come out. It's running at a nice pace, and I don't think he could have played that much better. So at least Mooncake's off the mark, but needs to run everything from here on in. And the 9 ball has gone in, or was that the 1 ball? I think it's a 1. And no real shot in the 2. Now what Mooncake's hoping here is that Coldest Pillow gives a bash at this 2 ball and breaks out the 8 as well, because it's slightly awkward on that side rail there, and going this way, that's certainly going to do it. That's heading into the 3 ball. No, he's... Oh, in fact, my eyes have gone as well, because it looked as if that cue ball was heading into the 3, but believe it or not, it missed the 2 on the top side. So Mooncake has another chance to get another rack on the board. Well, this is slightly awkward. He might be trying to go through the gap here. Oh well, he's going to get a nice nudge. That'll work. Oh yeah, man, my batteries are... I tend to go downhill very rapidly on a Friday night doing this tournament. Oh, look who's arrived in the room. Trouble, that's who it is. Well, Mooncake's got the right idea there, putting Coldest Pillow in trouble. I think that little nudge in the 7 has just got everything to fall into place. The 6 ball behind the 9, Mooncake having to kick. And of course, the 6 ball is Coldest Pillow's money ball. So this has to go safe, or it's sayonara and hasta la vista. Well, the most important thing was you had to hit the 6 ball. So it's all over. Coldest Pillow is the runaway winner, 4 racks to 1 against Mooncake. Mooncake's going to have to try again next week, and Coldest Pillow is going to have a chance, in fact, a second chance at Spectre Dawn, because obviously Spectre Dawn sent him to the 1 loss side in this week's final. And it's a race to 9, and Coldest Pillow will be getting a 5 ball. We will get in and we'll get ready, just waiting on the players arriving. Spectre Dawn's not usually in a hurry to get in, and it's just gone past 9:30. It's about 9:34, so we're 2.5 hours or so into the tournament, and we've got a final. Well, I think you're going to have to be a lot luckier to win this in a race to 9. And it's going to take more than luck to overcome Spectre Dawn. You know, you've got to ask yourself how many times is Spectre Dawn going to make mistakes leading up to that 5 ball, and how many racks? Not very often, and not many at all. Chances are if Spectre Dawn gets to the 5 ball, he's going to run the rest of them for the rack. Well, did he shoot 4 balls or 5 balls? I kind of lost track myself in all this excitement. That's the one mistake that the killer does in Dirty Harry in the final scene of the movie, or the final couple of scenes in that movie. That's the one mistake that he makes in the whole film, is that he doesn't count how many times Harry Callahan has a shot at him in the shootout at the end. So when the killer has got the sort of the young boy as his hostage at the very end, Harry, I think, shoots him in the arm, and the young boy runs away. And then as he's down, Harry says the line for the second time in the film. Says it right at the beginning of the film, and then he says it right at the end of the film. And he asks the same question: Did I shoot 6 shots or 5? And you've got to ask yourself one question: do you feel lucky? Well, of course, the psychopathic murderer feels lucky and has a go. But if you watch the scene leading up to that, Harry only shoots 5 shots at the killer in the shootout. He's still got 1 in the barrel, which is the one that he kills him with at the very end. And that guy at the beginning, I don't know his name of the actor, right at the bank robbery at the beginning of the film, when Harry says that line for the first time, do you feel lucky? He was in the next, I think he was in the next 2 Dirty Harry films. I think he was in 3 of the Dirty Harry films. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty certain he was in. He was definitely in another one. He might have been in another 2 of them. Well, they won't be remaking Dirty Harry. You know, that's Clint Eastwood's character. Yeah, he played. That's right. You're right. He played in 3 Dirty Harry films. The one where what's his name out of Starsky and Hutch, and those young cadets were being vigilantes, and right. He gets killed very early on in that film, where he's driving a big pimp mobile, and he goes down below the bridge, and the cop stops him. And he shows him his license. He's got a gun, and he's got a gun in between his legs, a pistol in between his legs, but he doesn't get the chance to use it because that was Magnum Force. He was also in a 3rd one where he's a bit of a you remember what's the one with Tyne Daly in it? What one was that called? He was in that one where Tyne Daly and Harry have to go to meet this guy, and he's the guy that they have to meet, but she's left with all the guys out the front of the store. Harry needs some information, and he doesn't get murdered. He doesn't get killed in that film. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It wasn't Magnum Force. He was in it. He was in 3 of them. The one where he's a pimp and he gets killed. Yeah, he was a sort of. he had information that Harry needed, and he was reluctant to give it. But what the hell was that one called? Or was it Dirty Harry? I'm sure. He was in 3 of the first Dirty Harry films. I don't think he was in another one. I might be wrong there as well. Right. Coldest Pillow is off to a good start. First rack on the board, but Spectratron very quickly going to respond here. Well, Clint Eastwood's is probably, he's probably going to be the next big name to head to the film studio in the sky. He's knocking on a fair bit now. He's what, 90? Is he 92, 93? He's had a very long career. I don't know whether he's going to be, well, he might be directing another film. I don't know whether he'll be starring in any other films now at that age. I don't think I ever saw Rawhide. I never saw an episode of Rawhide, and I don't think they ever really showed that over here. If they did, it was before I was born. I never saw Rawhide on the TV over here. Because that's really where he started. He was never, and I mean, when you think about it, Clint Eastwood was never a star. He had little bit parts in films. He made his name in Rawhide, and he was basically, I think he was basically out of work when he got offered this script by Sergio Leone. When he got offered this script for this, you know, I think he sort of scratched his head when he heard that it was going to be like a Spanish-Italian setup. He had to head over to Rome, and he brought his own outfit with him as well. He bought those cheroots, those little cigars, in a cigarette store, I think, in New York or somewhere like that. He bought those, brought the jeans over, brought the poncho over as well. They were all his own clothes. They weren't from the costume designer or that at the studio. They were his own. And that's what made his name. In a film, spaghetti western, you know, you get guys that are talking a different language, and they were all dubbed. And then, of course, when he got notice for that, then the other film scripts come in. And since then, he very quickly wanted to get into directing. His own company, Malpaso Studios, so he could do films the way he wanted to do them, which is what a lot of good directors want to do. They want to have the full say into how things are done, rather than having to kowtow to the big film studios. Didn't know who was in what. What did I miss there in the chat? Them, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that film. Well, Spectre Dawn's got himself in the lead. The brakes came up dry, and this one ball, oh, I thought that was going to drop into the side there. Easy kick in the one. Oh, he wanted to send it past the 6, but he's going to flick it in off the 6. There you go. He'll be asking a lot to have a shot in the 2 though. Don't think he'd get enough of that. An old horror flick about giant ants. Well, if somebody said, "Aye, this film's on them and it's about giant ants," I would never even look at it. Oh, there were some really dreadful films made in the 50s. You know, horror movies like that. Absolute garbage. They're so bad, they're funny. I don't think it really mattered if they were ants or spiders, as long as they were big. Well, Spectre Dawn misses the kick in the 2. Now here we go again. This is again the perfect example of an underdog player in a final getting ball in hand and having 2 or 3 balls to pot to get to the money ball. So the 3 ball and open up the cue ball like that for a roll in. Now watch you don't scratch the side pocket here. You don't need to, because you can come back off and kill that. That's fine. Chances like that have to be taken. I can't believe that I paid money. I paid money to go and watch one of the few times I've been in the cinema, but I went to watch Every Which Way But Loose. I saw it in the cinema. I don't think I went to see Any Which Way You Can, but they were a laugh. Always good when the Black Widows came in the scene, because you know that they were doomed to failure each time. The Black Widows. And you'll notice that Clint Eastwood, a bit like John Wayne, if you watch any John Wayne films, John Wayne had 1 or 2 actors around him that were in quite a lot of his films. They were his pals, and I'm pretty certain he got them parts in these films, you know, so they were earning a wage. And if you look at Clint Eastwood films, especially, you know, through the 70s, things like films like I'll give you an example. Films like Every Which Way But Loose, Pale Rider, The Outlaw Josie Wales. If you look at those 3 films, you'll notice that 1 or 2 of the bad guys are bad guys that are in all the same films, in Clint Eastwood films. One of the characters in the Black Widows was in all 3 of those films at least, and probably more than one. Well, Spectre Dawn looking to regain the lead here, albeit it's going to be a slim one, looking to find that break and run phase that he goes through where he takes the match away from the opponent. That hasn't really happened from what we've seen tonight. Yeah, because he was going out with her at the time, and she's dead now. She's passed away. What was her name? See, that'll annoy me now to go to my bed. I mean, I can see her face, and she was in a good 3 or 4 of her films. But he was the one that was getting her the work because he was going with it at the time. But for example, talking about actors that work with him in 2 or 3 of the films, the leader of the Black Widows, he was in Josie Wales. No, tell a lie. It might. Yeah, he was in Josie Wales because he was dealing with the Indians, and he wanted her as a fresh young woman for that Mexican guy, or that Indian. He was in Outlaw Josie Wales. He was also in, what was the other western? Was it High Plains Drifter? Because he was was it High Plains Drifter he was in? There's a scene in one of the films where he's behind Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood doesn't look at him, and he says, "You're gonna look stupid with that knife sticking in your ass," or something like that, because he was trying to come up behind Clint Eastwood. I can't remember. She was in Gauntlet. What the hell was her name? Well, it's looking like it's going to be a 4-2 lead here for Spectre Dawn. Well, he could stay top side of the 9, or he could come down table. He can do whatever he wants. Sondra Locke, that was her name, Sondra. It wasn't Sandra, it was Sondra. That's correct. That is her name. I can go to bed now and I can sleep, because I'd be lying on my bed thinking all night to remember their damn name. So 4-2. Already looking as if it's going to be tough unless Coldest Pillow gets those chances. Well, the 5 ball has gone in the break. Certainly that was one of the balls that has gone. And the 5 ball comes back up, but Spectre Dawn's got a very quick 1-9 combo here if he fancies it. Question is, can he keep the cue ball on the table doing that? I don't think so. I think that's why he's not interested. Well, at least I didn't think he was going to try the combo, because the cue ball looks... Yeah. He's trying to tuck away behind that 3 ball. And it's bumped to 3, and the 1's in play, so once again, a perfect opportunity here for Coldest Pillow. Now must have the angle in the 3 ball to get out onto the 4. Now this has got to be really careful. If you're going the 2 rails over to the 9 ball, you can't hook yourself behind a 5. And that'll do. Pace was good. And 5 ball into the same pocket. So this is exactly what you have to do. You get that chance. and it's your only chance in the rack, and if the balls are all there, you must find your way out to keep the pressure on. And the other thing is if you don't come up with a shot, you've got to play a decent safety. Well, this is going to work. That'll work. Not that he played it, but that's a bit of a lucky roll of the ball that you need. So once again, all the balls are there. You know, one ball, maybe the wrong side of the one ball. Let's have a look. No, that's perfect. Now, up top for the 4 into the same pocket, as long as you get high enough. Well, that could have done with going higher up the table. Watch the cue ball. So this to square the match. Now, as quick as that, you can get right back in it. And a ball has gone in. And once again, the one ball has gone, I think. If you can't get a shot, get it safe. And that's not great. Because Spectre Don shouldn't have been able to see any of that 2 ball. And neither should Coldest Pillow, because Coldest Pillow can feather that too. As long as he can avoid traffic and get away up the table, this could be a half decent safety, and that is not bad either. Still an easy kick, but got every chance that he might have a shot here coming up next. Cue ball scratching, and for the 3rd time in a row, Coldest Pillow has a table and a chance to find a way out here. Now it's a wee bit trickier this because there's more travelling involved. And first of all, got to get out of that corner across the table for the 3. Bumps the 5, no harm done at all. And of course, with only the 3 and 4 and 5 to be potted, oh dear. Well, there's a really poor shot. Anywhere up to that right side pocket, you're staring down the 4 ball. And this is thrown away chances doing this. Cuts the 4, bumps the 5. Probably no shot in the 5 now, and that might be the chance gone. I don't know whether you can see enough of that to cut it. It looks far too thin. But needs a bit of luck. Oh yes, he can. What a shot. Cue ball stays in the table. What a recovery that was. I didn't think he could get enough of that ball to cut it. Well, that is a real bonus. And a ball in the break again. So the push out. Well, I don't think it would do any harm just to push out to the right hand side. Well, that'll work as well. He might be put back in here in a minute though. Spectre Don might not be having any of this. There you go. I knew that was coming. So the tournament's now been on for 3 hours. It's now 10 PM British Summer Time. Well, Coldest Pillows played the shot, not really left anything easy. Question is Spectre Dawn going to play the cut? He probably will. It does go past the 5. It's tightish though. Doesn't look as if he's playing it though, the way he's going at the moment. He's playing it now. And it's just going to catch the jaw. That was not an easy cut. Now, you've got to obviously cut the one. Now, ideally you want to cut the one and miss the 3 ball and just come down past it. That's just a bit too heavy though. Too much sledgehammer. Well, the 2 might bank in the gap. Commentator's eye says it might bank. Although Coldest Pillow's just trying to duck for cover. Now this needs to spin. Well, it's become very awkward. That's a good shot. And let's have a quick look at this 4 ball. It's fine, it's well in the clear. So you'd have to think that that's Coldest Pillow's chance gone for this rack. And we should be back all square again. So we are 5 apiece. Spectre Dawn breaking in rack number 11. Looking for that window, looking for that comfort zone. He ain't getting it yet though. And I think he's come up dry again. That's a good enough safety. I mean, it's not tight to the 4, but Spectre Dawn looking to get the kick, I think, and he's looking to find a line. He can't get it from that side. He has a chance from this side. 2 ball goes past the 5 into the corner here. And again, Coldest Pillow has ball in hand from the safety. Yeah, the tournament only had 13 in it. One Pocket Slim wasn't around. He was probably busy at work. Where's the cue ball going? Now this is tricky. The pot's tricky enough, but you've got to get a hold of the cue ball to try and get out for that 4. Well, it's caught the 4, and well, it does cut up table. Again, if you're going to cut this, you've got to go full-blooded for it to have a shot in the 5. try to drop it into the side. Well, that's probably not a bad outcome. Okay, it's easy to jump over the 5 for Spectre Dawn, but it's not much you can do other than catch the 4 and hope he gets lucky. And Coldest Pillow better get ready here because he's not potting this 4 ball. And where's the cue ball going? Well, it's coming into play, and the 4 and 5 are waiting, and this is just going to have to be a long 5 ball. I'd just drop this in. Watch the, it needs to bump the 8, and that'll do nicely. And so Coldest Pillow's finding out pretty quickly that, you know, decent safeties can give you the chance to win the rack. And Spectre Dawn having to kick, never got the hit, and Coldest Pillow found his way to the 5 ball again. Oh, good evening to Biggs. You're late to the party. We're right in the middle of the final, and at the moment it could go either way, and even more so because this hasn't finished good on the 2 ball. And Spectre Dawn might be just beginning to feel the pinch a little bit here because he can't get away from Coldest Pillow. Yeah, dodgy cut that was. And here we go again. Every ball in play. The 3 balls there, the 4 balls there, 5 into the side. And it could be a 2 rack lead here in a minute if Coldest Pillow can hold his nerve. Nothing to do with the cue ball. You can even just drop this in and play the 5 up past the 9. But don't try and get good on the 5 into the side because you could end up hooking yourself behind the 8. And that was a risk there, but he's got on it fine. And now he finds himself 2 racks in front and 2 racks away from winning this event. Immediately has come up dry, and this is a table that Spectre Dawn will run out every day of every week unfailingly. They're all available. There's no obstructions, and this is a tricky shot getting on the 3 because he's got to come bottom side here, and he's well away from the 5. He's got the shot in the 3. Now he can just cut this in and come back the way, or he can just come across the table and leave this a more awkward cut in the 4. Oh, he's coming back, played the right shot, nicely got a hold of that cue ball there. Now there's no harm in bumping the 6 here. Well, we're still here, semi-pro, but we're hanging on, some of us more than others. Spectre Dawn with a 2 rack deficit here, trying to hang in. Well, if Spectre Dawn's going to put a run together, there's no better time to do it than now. He's back to within 1. He's got 3 balls in the break. And I don't know that he's got a shot in the 2 in terms of cutting it. He certainly hasn't. I'm pretty certain he can get enough of the 2 for the bank. I'm pretty certain he can do that. He seems to be going left side of the 2 here, but I think he can bank that. I think that banks into the corner. Commentator's eye says it does. And he's not got cover. I'm sure that banked. Well, this 2 ball needs to run, and it has done. And again, Spectre Dawn's going to get another practice at kicking. He's failed in 2 of them, and it cost him racks each time. Well, he's got the hit this time, and I think the 2 ball's going pretty safe, is it? Let's have a look. How do you fancy that from this end? No, that'll cut. Only problem is you're completely guessing where you're going to be in this 3 ball. And you need a lucky kiss and a lucky roll. Well, the bank has got to be taken on here. You've got to take the bank on. I'm sure he can see it to play the bank. Oh, now, see when you get rolls like that, I think this, that 9 ball's going to the jaw. It's not set. It's definitely not set. He can have a go at it though, but he's not interested. He's looking to use the 9 ball, and that's well done. That was a sensible shot there. It needed good touch, and he's got it. Now, I'd be giving this an almighty bang. I wouldn't be gentle. I'd be amping this up and slamming it. But if you play that, at least you're forcing Spectre Dawn to play a shot, and that was well done. Well, Spectre Dawn avoids the scratch now. He could be in trouble here. This is asking to be nailed to the 4 ball, this cue ball. And it's just squeezed through. Didn't quite take the right line there. But again, Spectre Dawn's under a wee bit of pressure. He's looking as if he's going thin. And that's not a bad effort by Spectre Dawn. There is barely an edge of that 3 ball showing. But that's too thick. Now you need to get a roll, and this might spin. Not quite. Not quite. Well, if he can come up good in the 4 ball, we should be all square. How's the angle in this 4? Perfect. Well, the thing that Coldest Pillow needs to remember as well is that going deep into these tournaments is going to bring your rating up. So not only have you then to make do with not quite as good a handicap, you've then got to start performing on a more regular basis in matches, and this is what should help you become that much of a better player. The more times you play players like Spectre Dawn, and then you don't have the assurance of as good a handicap as a 5 ball. So So Spectre Dawn, look at the 9 ball. That 9 ball is very dangerous where it's sitting. That's not my straight line. That is. That's just asking to be hit, that, and it probably will be in a minute or two. Spectre Dawn's just going to stun across for the 2. And the only thing with the stun shot here is rattling the 1 ball. Because all he wants to do is stun across the table, get behind that 2 ball and play the combo. He looks as if he's running forward though. Yeah, see, he took the safer option rather than stunning it across. And this is going to be a quick rack, and it's going to be 3 in a row for Spectre Dawn. From 7-5 down, he's going to be on the hill in a second or 2. Well, whatever happens, it's still been a very good night for Coldest Pillow. Coming out with a fair little wedge, regardless whatever happens. And 9 ball has gone in, it'll be respotted. Another ball went in as well. He's got a shot in the 1, 2 balls there. It's game over, folks. As long as he doesn't hook himself behind the 9. This is game, set and match right here. Well, Spectre Dawn has been waiting all night to get a little run, and this is the first match where I've seen it, where he's had 2 or 3 racks and they've came at the right time from 7-5 down. He's going to run out the winner by 9 racks to 7 here. He just needs to come out behind the 9 again. Avoid the 5 ball if he can. He's checking this up with right English. He has to still avoid the 9 though. And he's avoided it. And now, well, I don't know, he could go forward. He's going forward with right to come around the corner and open up that 5 ball. And the angle he's got in the 5 is perfect. The only way this will go wrong is hooking yourself behind the 7 for some strange reason. But you've got loads of room to get there on that 6 ball. You should have been over near the 7. And it is hasta la vista, as they say. And it's good for me because I can get to bed earlier. Well, the last time I checked, there was still no matches on the 8 ball bar table world championship. I don't know when the next one will be. I'll keep an eye on it. So he cuts the 8, cue ball runs up to the right side pocket. It's not going to scratch. And that's how you finish a match. Well, it might be getting boring, but it's up to the guys that are in it to try and deal with it. So yet another Friday night 9 ball title for Spectre Dawn, but Coldest Pillow only has to look at the money side of things. And well, he's getting 375 V dollars, so he's come out with a fair little profit. Spectre Dawn's got another bundle into the bank account, and that is it for Friday night 9 ball, folks. Well done to Spectre Dawn again, well done to Coldest Pillow. I'm sure he enjoyed that, going all the way to the final, but Spectre Dawn done him twice, sent him to the 1 loss side, and that, what was it? That 4 rack run there at the end there by Spectre Dawn was the backbreaker and the match changer. So I want to thank you all for watching again, guys. Thanks for your company. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon. So I will bid you good night and take care, and we will see you later.